There is a question that unlocks provision, breaks cycles, and shifts destiny. It is the question the prophet asked the widow: what do you have in the house? This was not just about the oil, it was about what she was carrying internally. 2 Kings 4, verse 2. And Elisha said unto her, what shall I do for thee? Tell me, what hast thou in the house? And she said, thine handmaid hath not anything in the house save a pot of oil. She came in full of fear, full of anxiety, full of lack, and full of pressure. Her sons were about to be taken. So when the prophet asked, what do you have? This was not a surface question, it was a spiritual confrontation, because you cannot receive from heaven with full hands. Notice her answer, thine handmaid hath not anything save a pot of oil. She did something powerful in that moment. She put down everything she was carrying and chose to acknowledge the one thing that remained. That save, that accept was hope. Psalms 127 verse 1. Except the Lord build the house, they labor in vain that build it. Except the Lord keep the city, the watchman waketh but in vain. The house is not just physical. You are the house. What you carry inside determines what manifests outside. If your house is filled with fear, there is no room for instruction. If your house is filled with anxiety, there is no capacity for obedience. 2 Corinthians 4, 7. But we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency of the power may be of God and not of us. You are the vessel. So the real question is, what are you carrying inside of your vessel? Because heaven does not struggle to give, but man must have the capacity to receive. 2 Kings 4 verse 3 to 4 says, then he said, go borrow thee vessels abroad of all thy neighbors, even empty vessels, borrow not a few. And when thou art come in, thou shalt shut the door upon thee and upon thy sons, and shalt pour out into all those vessels, and thou shalt set aside that which is full. Borrow empty vessels. Why empty? Because only empty things can be filled. The key principle here is that she had to shut the door first, separate from the world, and then go through her process. You cannot be filled while being distracted. You cannot grow while exposed to noise. You cannot hear instruction while holding on to fear. Matthew 6, 6. But thou, when thou prayest, enter into thy closet, and when thou hast shut thy door, pray to thy Father which is in secret. The miracle did not begin with the oil. It began when she emptied herself enough to answer differently. I have nothing except. That except was the doorway for heaven.